Nico, obviously this has to be tough. I know you wanted to be able to get that win for the fans, but what's sort of going through your head right now?
100%. That was the plan tonight. Give something the fans. Got to sit on that now the whole summer, so it definitely sucks. But I think our effort was there. I think we played really well first period. They scored 2 goals, and against a team like that, it's tough to come back. They're not turning pucks over a lot and bring every puck deep, and they're a well-structured team. So we hurt ourselves there a little bit.
What do you hope your team can channel from this feeling of disappointment heading into the summer, knowing that most of you are for sure back next year?
I hope that everybody remembers how it feels right now. I think that feeling sucks. Not gonna lie. So it's just a little emptiness in there, but you can take things out of this year. If it's going well, everything is easier. Obviously, if you're winning, but if not, that's where you can build character. And I think for our group, we still have a lot to learn. And we got hit a couple times in the face this year and went through some adversity. And I think we take the things out the right way and bounce back with a strong effort next year.
Nico, given how the previous season had ended and all the success you guys had and all the talent in this room, I mean, does this kind of make this sting a little bit more?
100%. It sucks.
Nico, you said that you can all learn a little something from this year. What's one thing that you specifically can learn from this?
I think I said it before. I think we got to understand sometimes too in certain games that taking 1 point can be huge, especially going down a stretch where you're in a playoff race. I mean, you just look at the Islanders. I think how many points they have just going into OT, and that's huge. And I think understanding that and playing if it's a tie game, not risking too much and getting a late goal and lose the game. I think that's something we can definitely take out, and that's something I learned this year as well.
Timo, I'm sure a lot to process right now, just knowing that that's kind of it for the season. How are you feeling?
Yeah, it's definitely tough. Just kind of, year's done. Obviously, missed the playoff. That's not where you want to be, and now it's time to take some time off, and everybody's got to look in the mirror and kind of evaluate their performance, and then it's obviously we're disappointed. You got to take that into the summer. You got to get better, and take that into the summer, and then come next year, and obviously we don't want to be in this position again because it's obviously there's no sugarcoating. It sucks.
Tough to sort of end on that note in front of your own fans, I would imagine.
Yeah, we wanted to come out with a lot of energy. I thought, in the first period, I thought we played well. Maybe that extra inch we couldn't get. Overall in the game, if you look at it, they were strong on the puck battles. We couldn't find that extra inch in front of the net to bang some more goals in, and it obviously hurts when you lose your last game at home in front of your fans like that.
You talk about sort of channeling this feeling going into the summer. Is that a feeling that you can hold on to as much as far as the summer goes? Where does it sort of shift there?
Yeah, you got to use it the right way. Obviously, use it as motivation. Work hard, and then obviously what's in the past is in the past. You got to move on, but knowing the mistakes we've done this year, and like I said, it's important that look at yourself. What can you do better, and then come back fresh. Be ready to get back to work next year, and I'm already excited to start next season because I think after a year like that, you should be hungry to, like I said, not be in this position again. So first take time off, and then obviously you get back to it.
Is it even more frustrating skating off the ice and looking over there, and they're going to the playoffs and you're not?
Yeah, that's the reality. Maybe take a look over there. They're going to the playoffs, and it's the most fun time of the year, and they get a shot at it. And we don't, so it definitely stings. like I said, use it the right way and make sure you're not in this position again.
Obviously, it's a bunch of different things, but what do you think is one of the main reasons that it didn't click this year as much as it did last year, this team?
I mean, there's a bunch of things. I think consistency and just through games, through the season. I think we had some stretches where we played well, but not enough to put ourselves in a spot to get to the playoffs. So like I said, it's going to be a year like that. Obviously, a lot of evaluation for everybody, and over the summer, do what you need to do to get better, get yourself individually ready to bring more to this team than we've done this year.
Timo, I know it wasn't the year that you wanted to have personally or as a team, but just knowing that you were able to finish the year strong in terms of scoring goals, how does that make you feel going into the off season?
If you're standing here at the end of the year and you're not in the playoffs, then you're not happy. I think individually, definitely, I know I can be a lot better, and through the whole year, definitely better at the end. But you want to be a player that's in the playoffs. So I'm gonna have some time and look at my game, obviously. And yeah, like I said, I'm excited to get to work in summer, and then even more excited to start next season.
Jesper, obviously it has to, we talked this morning, but it has to be tough to, come out the way you guys did and not be able to, put up that big victory that you guys really wanted for your fans.
Yeah. I think we started with really good pace, and I think overall, I think we're playing a good game. We're playing hard. We're playing fast, and I think it's obviously kind of towards the end. I think our forecheck got a little loose, and game kind of got away from us a little bit. And obviously, it stings.
What do you hope that this team, this core, really channels from the last few weeks, even the last few months going into this off season?
Well, that we use this the right way. That we use this as the best motivation that we possibly could. I mean, we all got to take a serious look at ourselves in the mirror and realize that we all have to be a lot better, and we have to use that in the summer, and obviously get the rest that we need to start with, but really use this getting that working and having that fuel to motivate yourself to be a lot better, because obviously we feel like in our organization this is unacceptable, and we got to be a lot better. That's just how it is.
Was there any one thing that you could point to that was really resulted in this season that didn't go well for you guys?
It's hard to point out just one thing. I think obviously it starts out with some injuries and some immaturity in our game that didn't really make us win games. Our starts were obviously a big factor that we're almost trailing from behind 2/3 of the game this season. I think a lot of that goes into it, and then just didn't really find any rhythm towards the season or throughout the season to get a lot of wins in a row and create momentum.
I felt like your game was very consistent this season. Obviously, the team wasn't, but for yourself, do you feel like you were pretty consistent night out basis?
I'm not going to say that when our season ended the way it did, and I'm not going to stand here and say that I'm happy with myself. I think I got a lot to learn too. I think I learned things. I think there's small things in the game that I might take with me, but obviously I got to be a lot better than myself too.
When you look around this locker room and see the talent, do you kind of scratch your head and say, how did we miss the playoffs?
Yeah, I guess, yeah, but talent doesn't always bring you to the playoff. We've seen that a lot before, and I think we're missing that sometimes. We're playing a little immature, we're playing a little too fancy, and we didn't really dial it down when it needs the most in the hard game areas. And obviously start as a part of that too, coming out ready every game to play instead of having to trail from behind 2/3 of the games.
If you were.
Just your thoughts. You got off to a good start. They didn't have a shot for the first 12 minutes.
Yeah, there were a lot of things that I liked about our game tonight. Some things I didn't. I thought we played with a lot of pace early in the game. I think we only gave up 7 or 9 shots after 2 periods, 12 after 50.
I didn't like our special teams tonight. I thought our power play could have got us some momentum when it was 2-1, and they didn't. Obviously, they got a power play goal themselves. You're going to make mistakes. We made a couple little mistakes, and they capitalized on it. It was, you keep a team to 18 shots, you're doing a lot of good things.
You mentioned the power play. What was the issue in your mind there?
You can go into different things. We just didn't get the job done. We didn't execute well enough. You got to give the other team credit too. They killed well, but I didn't think our execution wasn't good enough on the power play tonight.
Travis, when you took over, obviously it's a different type of position, associate versus head coach.
Mm-hmm.
What did you learn most about what is in that locker room, particularly about the core?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say, this team has a very bright future. It's extremely young. When you look at, I've said this many times. There were points where we had Siegs, Johnny, and Dougie out of the lineup, and you look back there, and there's, practically everyone's a rookie on the back end. And you look at our forward group, high-end forwards, skilled, but sometimes you forget Nico's 25, how young Jack is, Merce, Holtzy, Bratter. It's a very young team, and you've seen this I've seen it many times. Young teams have growing pains, and expectations sometimes get very high, and they don't reach those expectations, and that's opportunity to learn and to get better. And there's going to be change. There always is when you have seasons like this. But I do genuinely believe in this group and excited about where they're going. And I think the future is extremely bright.
What's it like for an athlete after a season like this? We're talking to the guys in the room. I hope that they said that they hope that they can take this feeling, Nico called it emptiness, as a motivation in the season. Is that a real thing that can carry someone through the summer?
Well, it should. As an athlete or as someone that wants to win in the NHL, really, I've said this before, like anything in life, you have to strive to be your best and strive to be better. As coaches, as players, that's the goal. And they had a good season last year. This season's disappointing. Being able to self-evaluate is important, but also to strive to be better, no matter, right from Nico, from our captain, down to guys that are at the bottom end of our lineup. And that's important when you're young and you're skilled and you're a good player in the league. You're still not good enough to win a championship, and being able to assess that and assess areas that you need to improve on are very important. And then it's knowing what you need to be better at, but then it's putting in the work to be that good.
Travis, your assessment of how Allen played tonight?
Who?
Jake Allen.
He was all right. He probably likes a goal back here or there. But I'm not going to sit and complain about Jake. He's been good for us since he got here.
And just what went into the Graham Clark scratch of him getting healthy scratched?
I just didn't want to pull anyone else out. I thought Nosek deserved to play. He'd been here all year, was healthy to play, and that's as simple as that.
Have you received any word on what your future is? Are you?
No. Fitz and I will have some meetings as we go forward.
Coach, Bratt mentioned immaturity in our games, maybe referring to giving up the first goal all the time or falling behind in games.
Yeah.
Is that something you see as maybe was an issue? Maybe they had a great season last season, thought maybe it would be a little bit easier.
Well, it's a different team than it was last season. I think that's important to say that. There's probably almost half a different team than they had last year, and you can never live off of what you've done the season before. I think, when Bratter talks about immaturity, I don't think it's not from a team getting ahead of themselves. It's a team being young, and immaturity is maybe, I think that word makes it sound different than what it actually is. They're young, and there's lots to learn in the game. You can be a really good player, but there's certain situational moments in the game that happen, whether it's mentally being prepared on back-to-back games, physically being strong enough. We've got players that need to get stronger, and stronger mentally and stronger physically. And that's part of maturing in the league and becoming an everyday player, so you're an everyday team that can win every day.
Travis, both of these teams have a lot of similarities and differences. Both teams made coaching changes midway through the year. One's going to the playoffs, one's not. Mm-hmm. What's something that you can learn from them that maybe might help you guys for next season?
I think every team's a little bit different in where they are and their go back to their maturity level, where they're slated, how their team is built. I think our team, is at a much different stage than the Islanders. They're an older team. We're a lot younger team. They've had the same core group for, it seems, for a long time now, and we haven't. So I think the two teams are built a lot different right now.
Charles, what did you learn about your goaltending moving forward?
I thought the two guys that we came in did well, did a nice job.
Thank you, Travis.
Okay.